What's up, Al?
What's up? This is how we open Xbox.
Huh? That's how you open Xbox? What's up, guys? How y'all doing? So I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit today. Coming Xbox.
Replace.
That
Yep.
that was a trick question. More money to get these things fixed. I talked about yesterday. If you saw the post that I made yesterday, I talked about profit margins. And so the profit margin on something like this, again, which is an HDMI, I'll show you guys what Bow was doing. Right. So literally, he's taking this thing apart. Right.
Yep.
And basically what he's going to do is he's going to remove the HDMI port and put a new HDMI port on. Now, the cool thing about doing that repair, quite simply, is he can salvage a HDMI from a different board that has a good HDMI. So when it comes to parts on this, he comes from a different unit or a broken unit or a unit that he can get for, almost no money or cheap or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of times what happens in the repair business is you get broken units that you just have for spare parts, right? So it's pretty basic, pretty straightforward. And then with his soldering skills, which we teach here at Cellular Repair School, we teach you how to solder. Bal, how long you been soldering?
About 10 years.
About 10 years?
Yep.
Would you call yourself good, okay,
Nope.
great?
Still need more to learn.
Bal's being humble. Bal's pretty good with his soldering skills. So all he's going to do is he's going to desolder, right, the one that's broken, and then he's going to take that off, desolder the one that's not broken, take that off, switch it out, put it back on, and he's going to resell that to the business is going to resell that to the customer, right? So what's the cost? If you want to talk about profit, let's talk about profit. So in that, the only thing you're really charging for is the labor, right? Because you're using a salvage part, which is pretty much free for all intents and purposes. It didn't cost you anything, right? And so the only cost in that is the labor to the technician, right? And that's pretty much it. So if you're the technician, obviously that would be you. You wouldn't have to pay anybody for your time, right? They would have to pay you for your time, right? So with that being said, you make all the profits. So Bal, let's talk about what you would charge for something like this. What would you say? How much?
This one, that's in my. If with the new part, we
Yeah.
usually charge about $45 to $50.
About 45 to 50 bucks. And how long does it take you to actually do this?
It depends, because sometimes solder, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually it's not gonna take more than 1 hour.
About an hour?
Maybe less.
So
1
50
hour or less.
so 50 bucks an hour?
Yeah.
Not bad. Huh?
That's
Right.
really good for the wait for it.
Exactly. That's my point. And so my point with that is what I want to talk to you guys about is it is a very valuable business, right? And that's just one example. That's an HDMI port on an Xbox One, right? That's going to be replaced in about an hour, right? And costs pretty much nothing but the labor, right? So depending on what Bal's making per hour, that's how much it costs, right? With that being said, just to talk a little bit more about gaming, right? If you want to talk about gaming specifically, gaming is, as you guys know, I don't know if you've been on the internet lately, but gaming is huge and it's going to continue to grow. Actually, gaming is, I would consider gaming an emerging market, right? Still, right? It's emerging because it's getting bigger and bigger in its capabilities and what people can do with it. So it's just begun when it comes to gaming. Gaming is, I was watching, actually, I was at the internet yesterday and I saw a lady who was literally, with the whole live component, like kind of what we're doing right now. There was this lady, right? And she was an attractive lady and she was playing, I think, Fortnite. And literally she had like 1,500 people watching her play Fortnite. Literally, that was it. You know what I mean? So there's a whole new concept of gaming. You guys know about it. You guys know what it is. But let's take a look at this. So Bal's got it open, right? And basically, he's taking the top off. He's going to clean it out because a lot of times these gaming consoles are really dirty. You can see, right? People don't clean them out, obviously. So you got to be careful. I've seen all types of everything in these things. Cockroaches, bugs, whatever you whatever you can think of. can be found in these things. So the first thing you want to do is clean it out. And then what Bao is doing now, what you doing now, Bao? Cleaning the board?
Clean uh, this board, and I think it's the processor. No,
Yeah.
micro. Yeah, just the kind of memory chip. Wi-Fi chip.
Yeah, it's the Wi-Fi board. So he's cleaning the Wi-Fi board. Basically, he's gonna clean it up, and then basically what he's gonna do is he's gonna solder, take off the HDMI, and put the new HDMI on. But I wanted to kind of just talk to you guys a little bit again because I posted yesterday about profit margins, and I really wanted to use this as an example. Right? He's gonna work on this 1 hour, salvage the part, charge the customer about $50, right, to replace it, and the customer is gonna be happy, and the customer has no problem, absolutely no problem paying $50 for that replacement as long as they can get their Xbox back. Right? And again, we get those each and every day. All you got to do is be able to identify opportunity, maximize opportunity, put that opportunity back into the marketplace, right? And it's not difficult, it's very simple, and that's an easy $50. Now, how many people can you do that for? That's the question. How many people can you do that for? And again, that's just gaming consoles. And how many gaming consoles are there, right? That's not even taking in consideration how many phones we do every day. That's not taking in consideration how many laptops we do every day. That's not, because once you do one, that kind of all, you get that, once you get that understanding and you get that kind of know-how and you get that confidence, it's pretty much the same, the same thing. It's pretty much the same soup reheated, right? All you really have to do is have the right guidance in terms of the business. Once you understand the business of it, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of get like, lost a lot of times is it's different parts of it. It's like I can be good at one thing, but I'm not necessarily that great at something, another part of it. Like you see it all the time. Like there's guys who are really good, and I'm gonna put my phone down right here. And now I'm kind of talk to you guys. Just talk to you guys. Put my phone down right here. So a lot of times you see there are guys who are really good at different parts of it. So sometimes you have good guys who are really good at sales, right? But they're not good at technical. Right? A lot of times you have guys who are really good at technical, but they're not really good at sales. And a lot of times you have good guys who are good at identifying opportunity. And sometimes you have guys who are not really good at identifying opportunity. Well, what we do at Cellular Repair School and what we're doing in our program that you guys might be familiar with, that I've been talking about is we're going to be teaching you guys how to do all three, right? How to identify the opportunity, how to maximize the opportunity, and then how to put the opportunity back into the marketplace. Right? And that's what you guys need to kind of understand how to do. It's a 3-step process, right? And everybody's not good at every part of that process. And it's important that you understand how to do each part of that process if you're going to be in the business of fixing devices such as, cell phones or laptops or even gaming consoles like you saw, like you guys saw Bao doing, right? He was doing an HDMI. Port, take an hour, right? Charge $50. That's good money, right? That's real money. And that's very feasible, very doable. And there's a lot of opportunity for you guys to capitalize on doing that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. I hope that kind of put some things in perspective. I know I posted a video yesterday about profit margins, and I wanted to use that as an example of what type of profit margins you could make. Right. We'll talk more about those profit margins in the future where we're talking about glass replacements, ear speaker replacements, switches, all types of things that a lot of people don't think about until they're in the repair market. And I don't know what type of repairs you guys are used to doing, but you don't have to be a one-trick pony. There's many different types of repairs that can be done, especially in this time that we're in now where people are looking to save money. Right? People are looking to extend the longevity of their of whatever it is, whether it's like a gaming console or whether it's a cell phone. People are looking for other alternatives as opposed to spending a lot of money right now, obviously, because money is tight right now for a lot of people. But people are still willing, right, to spend the money to get things fixed as long as it makes sense, right? And we do that each and every day. As a matter of fact, let me go show you guys. I got a little bit of time left. Again, I want to have these conversations with you guys so you guys get an understanding of exactly what we do and that we do, what we do. Right? We even resell phones, right? A couple of guys. We got a department in here where we actually resell devices. Which you guys can see, I kind of showed you guys this the other day. I'm gonna take you guys through the all access area, show you the kind of things that we actually have access to. So this is a wholesaler, right? So for you guys that are interested in what wholesaling is basically you buying what you need at the wholesale price, right? So you can make the profit margin, right? Does that make sense? So everything you see in here, right? All of this, right, is wholesale items. So what does that mean? Wholesale means you buy it for the wholesale price and then you sell it for the retail price. That's where your margin is. Your margin is in between the wholesale and the retail, right? So I'm just gonna show you all of this casing. You got cases for iPads, right? We have what we call cool grips right here. You guys can see these. These are really cool. These are like pop sockets, but they're not pop sockets. They're cool grips, but they work just the same, right? They just don't have the branding that pop socket has. But when it comes to a customer in this space, it doesn't really matter as long as the functionality is there, right? And that's what a lot of this is, right? One thing you guys don't have to worry about is, trademark issues or anything like this. This is aftermarket products. This is a lot like, just to be transparent and let you know, this is a lot like when you are getting your car repaired, right? I'll give you an example. When you're getting your car repaired, a lot of times what people will do is ask you, do you want an OEM part or do you want an aftermarket part? And depending on what price you want to pay, a lot of people choose aftermarket parts. Sometimes people will choose OEM parts. Just depends, right? It depends on what the customer wants. But there's, you have your options. And most of the time, as long as it's, it works well for the customer, then the customer really doesn't have a problem paying good price for, decent quality material. So that's what you find a lot of times, right? So this is what we offer. You guys can buy any of this stuff, at wholesale pricing. It's available to you, right? We got, what else we got? Got cases, right? So it's all access, cell phone, LCDs. So you got Samsung, right?
Yeah, can you please? Because
We got the Apple stuff
Yeah, I bring it from my house. But
right here. XS Max, in sale. So in our program, guys, you're going to have access to all of this. You're going to have access to the training, the mentorship, the parts, the tools, the equipment, the accessories, the expertise, the business, all the stuff we've been doing for the past 12 years, right? You'll have access to. And basically what we're doing is we're creating a community where the community, all it is $49 a month, right? And you get access to everything you need. And we're just trying to get as many people, right, into the system as we possibly can to create a community of cell phone repair technicians, right? Bringing people in. Because again, what we understand is that times are hard right now. We understand that we've had a lot of great opportunity, and we understand that people are looking for ways to generate income, right? And one thing you got to be doing is you got to be developing. You have to be developing your skills. You have to, 100%. So you got to be finding a way to generate income using the skills that you have. And this is a low cost of entry. That's one thing that people love about cell phone repairs. It's a low cost of entry. It doesn't cost that much to get in, right? It doesn't cost that much to actually operate in this space. And it's feasible. And it's feasible for anybody to actually get started and generate income really quickly in this space. You just kind of got to know what to do, how to do it, and where to get what you need. So we have that for you. If you guys are willing, want to participate, all you got to do is click the link down below in the description. I don't know if I put it in the description yet here, but if you look at the last video, it's called Maximizing Profits. You guys will see that it's in the description area. You can click on that and go straight to understand how to get signed up for that. All right. If you guys got any questions, let me see. People we got on, if we got any questions in the chat. Again, I'm gonna be talking to you guys every week, right? Giving you guys some updates, some specifics. about what's going on in the cell phone repair market, what's going on in the business. If you guys have any questions in regards to the cell phone repair business, the industry, the market, cost, how to get started, what you need, you know, pricing, wholesale pricing, retail pricing, demand, supply, what's available, what's not available, what's coming out, what's new, what's, games, laptops, description box. Well, I didn't see anything. Okay, Mr. Ware, I'll be sure to put something in the description box after. But if you go to the previous, how can I find a good tech, serious tech? That's a good question. So if you guys have some questions, to find a serious tech, a lot of times that's the problem. That's the biggest issue. What I would say, great info, by the way. Yeah, thank you, no problem. A lot of times what I would say is the way that's the biggest problem. Technicians are the biggest problems with this business, right? That's why most people start with just themselves, right? So most people start, this is something kind of like a hobby or something they realize they can make money. As a matter of fact, what happens is a lot of people actually break a device and they want to get it fixed. So they go through the process of fixing it and then they realize, hey, there's potential here. I can fix the device, or I can do this, fix many devices and make some money doing it. And we have two things that we actually teach. We call it fix and flip, right? Where you can actually identify devices to fix in the marketplace, buy those devices, repair those devices, and then flip those devices back into the marketplace. And that's something a lot of people don't do. They don't take the time to do. They don't take the time to actually do what we call fix and flip. They wait. So instead of being proactive, they're reactive, right? And that's something that if you're wasting a lot of time if you're not doing that, just waiting on people. Sometimes you need to go in the market, like in the marketplace. Again, I gave an example not too long ago about like washers and dryers. There's guys out there who are fixing washers and dryers right now. And what they do is they go in the marketplace, they find a broken washer or dryer, right? And they fix it. And then they put it back in the market and they flip it for 100 or 100, 150 bucks more than what they bought it for, right? And so, there's two types of things. So you got fix and flip, and you got, and then you got service, obviously. But getting back to answering the question, like the technician question, a lot of people start that way, and then they get really good with their skills. And then the problem is, as they scale up and they get more people, then they need to hire more people, and that's where the problem actually comes in, where it's like, okay, how do I find somebody that I can trust? Number one, number two, that's not going to break people's stuff, right? That's going to have the same passion that I have for repairing, and that can be very hard to do. But that's where the business skills kind of come in, and that's what we talk about a lot of times, because you need to be able to train people properly. And that's kind of what we've been doing, and that's kind of what we always cater to. We cater to people who want to scale but have a problem finding good technicians. Well, number one, the biggest problem in this space is pay, right? Obviously, pay is a problem, because once people kind of learn the skills, then they go, oh, if I can make more money than what you can pay me, then I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have a problem, because then it's like, well, I can go out and make just as much money as what you're paying me. And if you think about that in terms of any business, if I worked at McDonald's and I could sell hamburgers better than McDonald's, and I could make more money than McDonald's is going to pay me, then I'd probably go start my own hamburger business, right? We're at that place, or this business is at that place. That's the problem a lot of times when you have a low cost of entry. It's a gift and a curse. Does that make sense? It's a gift and a curse, because it's a gift in the fact that you can get in and you can use it as a side hustle and make some money. But as soon as you start to scale, it becomes a curse, because now the guy that you employ can do the same thing, right? If that makes sense. So that's the problem you see a lot of times with finding good technicians, is once they get good, right? And by chance you do find one that gets really good, the problem then becomes, right, that he's going to potentially leave you for, if you guys aren't on the same page. So with that being said, you need a good training system, which is kind of what we do here at Cellular Repair School, because then we go, hey, get into this. We go, hey, have your technicians get into the system, right? And we try to keep it as low as we can so you guys can participate, right? And you can pay. If you're making, again, if we're charging you $49 a month for a subscription, or even $100 a month for business subscriptions, right? Subscriptions, then that's nothing. If you're making, that's well worth it. $100 a month is well worth it to have a system to train people that are going to be, revolving through the door, right? And that's what we do. You send them over to us. We keep them trained. We keep them updated. You don't have to worry about that. right? And we teach them and we coach them and we tell them what they need and we tell them what they should be doing and all of this kind of stuff. And we do that from a business perspective if it has to be business. So we'd work that out with you, obviously. Um, yeah, he said, laugh out loud. That's been, let me see, that's been my experience. Let me see. I kind of got you guys. I have to. Let me see. Let me rotate this thing. I think the last comment was that's been my experience. And yes, that is the experience almost 100% of the time of people who are starting from scratch, right? Because again, it is a low cost of entry. And you're going to have that. That's not specific to cell phone repair. That's just about any business that has what we call a low cost of entry to start, right? It's about being able to pay people more than it costs them to actually go out and do it themselves once they learn the skills. And that's going to be your biggest problem if you're not incentivizing people enough to stay with you, or there's not enough incentive, whether it's pay or whether it's partnership or whether it's just a relationship or whatever it is. If the incentive doesn't outweigh the reward, you know what I mean? Then a lot of times people you're going to have problems and trouble keeping people a lot of times. So the way we've helped people deal with that is just by offering the repair training at a very low cost, so that you don't have to bear the brunt of training people at the same time you're trying to run your business, right? We keep it low. We keep it, if we're here, if they need us, we're here. We're going to help them, right? We're always here to help you scale your business. And that's kind of what we've done, right? On both the solopreneur side and the what we call the big business side, or the small business side, where you're trying to scale, right? And scaling is usually when you got, more than one location, or we refer to that as scaling. If you go to our podcast, we talk about the 5 stages of business on the Ask Will and Josh podcast. So you can find that if you just Google Ask Will and Josh, iTunes will come up, and you can listen to the 5 stages of cell phone repair. And we talk about those stages that most people actually go through in scaling your business. This is what a lot of people actually don't really tell you guys a lot about, or talk to you guys a lot about, is the actual way to scale your business, It's one thing to get in. And again, it just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make an extra 50, 100, 200, 300, $400 a month, this is the ideal business to do that in. Just because, again, you can find it's in the market, you can repair it. And again, it is not exclusive to cell phone repair. It is a computer, or a PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to fix things, right? And repair things. And again, the labor is you, and the cost a lot of times is minimal, right, for the part. You can do washing machines, dryers, laptops, cell phones, anything that's, can be fixed. I saw my father, he used to do the washers and dryers all the time. He used to do hours. And he'd got a part, he'd fix it, it'd be back up, right? And it lasts another 2 or 3 years. And so that's the kind of thing that you guys can do, right? And yeah, that's going to be your problem with scalability. With scaling, it's always a problem if the industry is not well regulated, so to speak, because your pricing, right, is business sense of it doesn't really work in terms of what you're charging people or what you're paying people versus what people can on their own. Does that make sense? So again, the low cost of entry is a blessing, but at the same time, it's a curse, because once your technicians learn how to do it, then what keeps them from going out and starting their own business? You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gonna conclude. I just wanted to touch base with you guys. We'll be talking more about these kind of business principles and these kind of things, and helping you guys scale and get to where you need to get to. And if you guys got any questions, please ask the question in the comments, because that's gonna help me have better conversations about what it is you guys want to know about, you guys want to learn about. We'll have these business conversations all day, right? And honestly, if you're interested in accessing all of the things that we have access to, like if you want the training, you want the mentorship, you want the live training and mentorship, you want the scalability of your business with training your technicians and things like that, please check out the link in the previous video. I'll have the link in this video. It's very low cost. Again, $49 a month, just to put that in perspective, is one pay for everything we talked about. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. And if not, I'm going to see you guys on the next live. Let me see. Let me check. I'm really excited about this. Good texts don't stay. Yep, laugh out loud. That's been my experience. Good texts don't stay. No, they don't. Yep. It's the story of my life. Good texts don't stay. Story of my life is, does anything stay? That's good. You know, it ebbs and flows. It's like, you know, it's like the stock market. It's ups and there's downs, right? And so I don't know if anything good ever lasts, right? You know, we just have to make the best of it while it's good, and then we have to figure out the, you know, everything in between. And that's what we do here. And we try to help you guys solve those problems by making it easier, especially around the training. The training is the hardest part. The training is the thing that everybody struggles with, is the training, because you have to be able to train to get the new people. And a lot of times you don't want to hire good guys all the time. You want to hire some great guys. You want to hire some kind of in the middle guys, and you want to hire some newbies, right? You want to mix. And if you're going to do that, you have to be able to get those guys who have, because a lot of times the guys who don't have the skills are hungry. The guys who have the skills are not as hungry. So you find that to be the case a lot of times too, or the problem a lot of times too. So you want to make sure that you're taking that in consideration. And I've had success, we've had success, and we've had failures with all types of different styles of technicians, right? The ones that were hungry for knowledge and hungry to learn and wanted to really please, you know, the company and be successful. You have those guys, right? And then at the same time, you have those guys who, you know, who just kind of, you know, just kind of half-ass it, just, you know, tell the truth. And you're going to have those guys. And at the end of the day, you just have to be able to manage that and the best you can, you know. So with that being said, I don't want to start rambling and go too long. I just want to make sure you guys are getting value out of everything that we're talking about. And I can tell you what's going to give you the most value is for you to ask the question and for me to answer the question. So if you guys have any questions in regards to the business of cell phone repair or electronics repair, device repair, or even wealth building, because one thing we know how to do is build wealth. Now, we're not financial advisors by any means, but we know how to make $1 turn into $2. We know how to turn $2 into $4. And that's exactly what you saw what Bow was doing, right? It's a matter of being able to, you know, find the need and fill in the hole, fill in the plug. And that's exactly what we do. That's what he does. That's what we do on the business side, you know, parts, accessories, devices, right? We have that accessible too, like all of these things, and it's all wholesale. And so, you know, if you're interested in, you know, being that provider for your community or starting a new business, right? We're probably guys you want to, you know, interact with and talk to, just because we've done it at every level. All right. All right, this is William Agnew. Again, you guys ask any questions. I'll be talking to you guys every Tuesday and Thursday. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, right? Hit the notification button. That way you'll know when I'm coming on, right? Because we are so busy, right? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about this and then I'm gonna let you guys go. A lot of people think that this COVID has, or this, I don't want to say the word COVID, but I'm gonna say, let me see, the people call it beer flu, right? Or this pandemic has slowed everything down. Well, no, it hasn't. As a matter of fact, the independents, and I'll tell you why, the independents, right? What I call the independents or the solopreneurs have been as busy, my students, our students have been as busy as ever in this environment. Why? Because retail is struggling right now and the boat is too big for retail. So what happens is right now, and you guys will probably understand this, and some of you guys will, and some of you guys won't, but I'm gonna explain it. Sometimes the bigger the boat, the harder it is to keep it afloat. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes the bigger the boat, there's a lot more cost that goes into keeping it afloat, you know? And with that being said, sometimes the smaller the boat, the more nimble you can be. And so what I've always seen is when it comes to corporations are heavy boats, right? They're big. They're like the Titanic, right? Hard to turn, right? You can see the iceberg, but it's too late. because we can't turn this big boat before we hit it, even though we see it way out, miles out, right? We can't turn because it's just too big, right? And it's too many people to take care of. It's too much stuff to pay for. And there's not enough money coming in to make it make sense. And that's what you're saying happen today in our economy and our society. The middle guys, like the guys who have all the money, they'll be fine, right? They're just buying it back. They're spending the money right now and buying back that market share so they can own it. It's the guys in the middle, the retailers, right? Those are the guys that are going to be in trouble. Those are guys that are going out of business. You're going to see more of those guys, I do think, go out of business unless there's some type of stimulus or something that comes through that saves them. But at the current moment, a lot of these guys are laying people off, right, to save money to keep from going out of business. And some of these guys are simply going out of business. As an independent, right, your boat's not as big. So you don't have as much to cover. You don't have as much to float. The demand goes nowhere. The demand is still there. This is what you got to understand. The demand is still there. It's not going anywhere. So people still need, if we're talking about cell phone repair, people still need their phones fixed, right? That's not going anywhere, no matter what the problem is. I don't care if it's a pandemic, flu-demic, whatever. These cell phones, they're here to stay. They're in our lives, and that need and demand for repair is not going anywhere. So even the business that I just showed you guys out front, our business, the access area for parts and devices and accessories and things like that, it's booming, right? Because people still need it no matter what. So it's one of those essential businesses for the most part. And so it's not going anywhere. So my students have had a record year in regards to servicing people who need this service, if that makes sense. Even cell phone flipping and selling. It's doing really well in this environment. It's doing a lot better than you would think in this environment simply because it's a need. It's no longer a want. It's like a utility now. So with that being said, it is the business to get into right now for sure, because the opportunity is there. And because people can't go to the retailer because the retailer's closed or the retailer's not providing that service or the retailer's making it harder for you to get that service, they're finding the guy who's the independent, and they're going to him and asking him or her, hey, can you help me with fixing my device? And I've already ran the numbers on that. We'll talk about numbers. We'll talk about money more specifically a little bit later, right? We talked a little bit about it with the HDMI port, but with the cell phones, for you guys that's been in the business, you kind of know what it is. You know that labor is where you're going to get paid, right? You can buy wholesale parts, right? And at a wholesale price, and you go sell them at retail and you make the difference, right? And if you're the laborer and the labor cost is just your time. So that's more money for you to make, if that makes sense. So the opportunity is there. You can find the money. You can find the opportunity. You can find the money in it. The money is in it. You just have to be willing to do it. And at this time, I know I'm going a little long, and I always do, but at this time, it's the perfect time. You guys need to be developing. You need to be developing your skills. We're going back to that time where your skills need to be developed. I was talking to a guy the other day, and we were talking about value, and we were talking about coding. Like just a few years ago, everybody was like, yo, I need to learn how to code. I need to learn how to code. It's going to be coding. The coders are going to be the wizards of the future. Well, lo and behold, now you have computers who can code, right? And you have computers who can code 100 times faster than humans who can code, right? So at some point, the computers are going to make the coders obsolete because the AI and the computers will be able to code. But you know what the computers will never be able to do? They'll never be able to come to the neighborhood, and they'll never be able to offer the services and the skills because they won't be nimble. The boat is too big. So you have to be in the boat that's not so big and have the ability to have the skill to provide that service to the people who need it. And that's what you need to be working on. That's what you need to be doing. So if it's cell phone repair, great. If it's not, great. But it needs to be something, guys. You need to be doing something and increasing your skill set, with these and with this and with the access, right, that someone can give you to put it together and make 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 extra dollars a week. It's just that important. All right. So with that being said, unless you guys got any more questions, right? Next time, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about what info? Oh, the info is on the previous video, Mr. Ware. It's on the previous video. It's called Profit Margins. And if you go into the description and you go down, you'll see a link in the description, and it'll take you to the program. All right. So again, don't forget, like us, share us, subscribe. As a matter of fact, we're going to be running ads, right? And so if you want to see, and the ads are going to be more informative and teach you guys about the things that are coming out. So if you want to see those ads that are going to be free, going to be some free training in the ads also. Be sure to go ahead, like us, subscribe us so you can see those ads. Also, in that training, in that link that I just informed Mr. Ware where that is, there's 8 weeks of free training also, right? So you can get you some free training. Now, to get access to all of the things that I'm talking about, you guys got to sign up and be a part of the community. We want you to do that. But we also want to give you some value so you guys see exactly what you can expect to learn and what it's all about, right? And the opportunity. So again, William Agnew, signing off, Cellular Repair School. I enjoyed it. You guys keep on trucking no matter what you're doing. Keep trucking. Don't let this time, it will get better. Don't let this time get you down. But at the same time, you got to take responsibility for making sure that you aren't just a valueless statistic that people are just going to hand money to. Because in my opinion, I think the direction we're going in is the middle class is going to be a lot less valued and kind of like they're creating, welfare for the middle class for the most part. And that's just my opinion. If you know anything about universal base income, that's exactly what it sounds like, right? Just another word for middle class welfare. So you don't want that, guys. You want purpose. You want to be able to wake up and create your own. I mean, it's okay to get a little bit, right? But you also want the ability to create your own, right? And that's important for purpose. So with that being said, that's our mission. That's what we're here to do, is help people find and create and keep purpose, right? So, all right, see you guys on the next one. William Agnew signing off. Peace.